Monday, Tuesday, sound check. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sound check. Hi, Heart Aura. How are you? I'm up because there's something going down. Hi, y'all are up. I have y'all slept? I don't know where you're at in the world, Heart Aura. Where are you? Just give me a country. Don't lay it all out. Ohio. So it's a little bit. Ohio's been on a topic of conversation the past 24 hours. I've spoken it. Ohio and this whole program setup. It was called Applegate. Canada. So I haven't slept. And last week I was already completely off. This past couple of weeks, it's like we've worked so hard for all of this, and it's been nonstop for so many years that like not sleeping for a little while is like, okay, cool. We'll do that. But I woke up, and I think I did even do I think I told you I woke up. When I woke up this morning, it's like I slept cool last night. And I hadn't even looked at the astronomy. I don't look at the astronomy. Like, as soon as I wake up, I don't follow it. I've had, I don't, religiously look it up at a certain time all the time. Because in my world, it'll jump and change. And also, I look at it whenever I feel something, because then I'll go look at it and I can see what's going on, and so then it's like I've got an understanding of possibly what it is I'm feeling, so I can match it up later on. It's like it helps me read it instead of anticipate. It's the difference between astronomy and astrology. Astronomy can change. Astronomy can change. So it's like you can't really dictate it. It's all about the collective and where the collective's at, right? So I been going to sleep about 3 a.m. anyway lately, because my sleep's been screwed up. And so when we leaped forward, when I was on this live on here last night with TikTok, the time changed and I totally forgot. And I got off of here, and then before I knew it, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh yeah, we had that whole time change. I knew that was going to happen. I totally forgot about it. And one of the major, every time that they manipulate time or manipulate anything, Every time they try to manipulate something, we've got a plan ready. We've already done it. It's been done in the ethers. So even the 7 days of recreation that we just did was with these 2 weeks in between, because Europe is not going and springing forward for 2 weeks. So it's not it's not just that the United States we still do daylight savings. It's like the other some countries do, some countries don't, and then they don't even do it all at the same time. And so it's kind of like the same type of thing that they do during leap year. Because if you understand, and this is what I've had to learn, when the last few days of the week of the month, like everything pretty much ends at 28. And then if you've got a 29, if you've got a 30, if you've got 31, Oh, hi, Patty. Yes, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Y'all have all different names, and it's so confusing. Like when I do y'all's charts, it's like you need to give me like a whole link tree. Um. So anyway, we've been knowing that, and then that's why we were, it's why we do everything, and it's why we've been writing collectively for the collective timelines, and it's why the ancients were here. It's our system. It's not theirs. I mean, this is why they have to manipulate us in order to keep our system running. It's our system. It just takes a little bit to turn it on. I'll also add right here that I'm pretty positive that the Sphinx is basically like, on the front of a ship, of a giant ship, the old wood ships, and they've got like the princess or the mermaid or whatever on the front, and it's like this, and it's like helming the ship. That's a Sphinx. Sphinx is helming the ship. Just FYI, the whole system of Giza and the underground, everything, all the way the pyramids create currents around this earth plane. The whole thing is one big massive human, machine. So we're ready for all of this, and it's like, when you're dealing with processions, and you're dealing with the mass of the human race going through upgrades, and especially whenever you're bringing in an Ophiuchus energy, which is the 1,000 years piece, because realize that whenever Ophiuchus energy totally gets here, it changes the physics, because the physics in a simulation are like being underground in a cave. They're like living in a cave. Whenever you're in the simulation, and even whenever you're in a positive bloodline, even that adds another cave. And whenever you're out of the cave, you don't have no tent. You ain't got no dome. It's coming directly in to you. When you turn on the machine, it's creating constant vibratory sequences at different levels. And so this is the reason that they activated us. This is the reason that they needed us to come in and clean this up. And then they thought in the end that they could just harness it and whatever. So we're ready, and it's like at this point we've dealt all the training and all the crap that we've gone through the past 4 years with all these different groups that are down here that are doing this stuff. We already work in a unit all over the planet, and they should be terrified. The problem is they're not, and so we're about to bring it. I was downstairs, and I came upstairs. I'm like, okay, I think let's see if I can go to sleep. I've got this weird energy. It's been all this subconscious, crazy thoughts and stuff that's going out in the collective. It's just a complete freaking... It's Project Chaos is what it is. It's literally Project Chaos. They're running it right now. You've got the sun that's about to connect with Saturn. Well, what's their favorite thing in the whole freaking world? And what's crazy is that they don't even know Saturn. They've never dealt with Saturn. They were always throwing us in Saturn, literally. Saturn had not been boarded for 1,800 years. We know because we had to turn it back on. And then we had to wait another 2 freaking years in order. And we're like, okay, we'll just sit down and we'll wait 2 years. Fine. We won't. We'll just sit here and wait until Saturn turns on because we can't manage a bunch of kindergartners with knives. And it's what it is. It's a bunch of kindergartners running around on this planet with knives, all trying to take out their teacher. Saturday Night Live be a big part of it. And I hadn't seen the episode that aired last night. So when I finally was trying, I was like, okay, it's 4:30 in the morning. Like, it's 3:30 in normal time. I should be able to lay down right now and at least go to sleep. It's past 3 a.m. I lay down and my mind is still, when this, and I explained it last night on this TikTok. Whenever they send this dark magic, especially to high frequency beings, everything slows down. And so this is whenever your mind is like, you're not necessarily thinking about anything, but it's foggy. It's like when that energy comes in, and especially if you're one of us, and the higher that you are, it's going to hit you first before it hits anybody else. Now, that's nuclear as well. And I'm FYI. So that's the energy that was in my head. So I grabbed my phone and I looked at the astronomy and I was like, what the heck? I put it up on the feed and I'm like, okay, Saturn and the sun are about to connect. This is all going to go down on the 11th. But for all of us who energetically are connected in the collective, we always feel these transits at least 3 days ahead, because for us, they start 3 days before it happens because there is no time. Our energy is so expanded now that these planets and all these things will hit us first, just like the moons. Same with the moons. You get to a point where it's happening and you're feeling the energetic, you're experiencing it before the masses, because in your world you're ahead when it comes to cosmic energy. That's why sometimes we feel behind on the earth plane in the realm. Let me show y'all this. How do I flip this? There we go. Look at that. This is like limbo. How low can you go? And you spread the limbo beat. And dun 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 dun. All around the limbo rock. Hey, let's do the Virgo clock. Let's jump over Aries now. And let's bring a cabal down. All around the earth realm, yo. So, holy crap. So, look, we're at 20. It's literally just at 20 degrees. So, it's just now coming. These energies have been conjuncted for a while. I want y'all to remember, Venus is going backwards. So, this is why SNL had Gaga on. This is why the next couple of days, man, they're just gonna be a trip. So just get ready, because these groups have been waiting for this. They knew that they couldn't stop us, and realize that, look at this chart. I mean, if you know anything about anything, then and if you don't, then let me explain it. That ain't normal. This isn't an astrological transit that you can pull off a record book of any sort, because we literally are resetting the entire system, and we broke this wheel. And so right here at Pisces and Aries, there's like this backup, and notice how everything's coupling off. And the sun by tomorrow will be on Saturn at 21 degrees, and this is also, I mean, this is the gateway program. At 21 degrees, you're entering into what I call the hybrid space station at 23 degrees. But it's an orb, so it basically goes from 21 to 25 degrees of Pisces. That area in space, it's whenever Corey Good talks about going up into space and he's gone and all these suits and that's it. Because his consciousness was expanded, but he didn't put back together his etheric body at all. And guess what happens whenever you do that? You go into a gateway program because you don't have an etheric body to now come back in and connect, because we blew this wheel. You can basically think of it as this wheel now is like this. It's not flat. It's not a normal seam. Like a record's not, it's split. If I could cut this in half and then I could pull this part up and then pull this part back. If I lifted it like this, it's like that. Now there's a gap right here. Why? Because we still got a whole bunch of people in the simulation that have no freaking idea what's even going on. It's still building. Everybody's is still connecting. Even a lot of your major healers, a lot of your major light workers are in the same situation because or they have done the healing on their body. They've done those things, but they didn't claim at all because they didn't know how. And see, that's what I teach y'all, and I explain to y'all, and I've been preparing y'all for the amazing race that's starting off in the consciousness, because you are in a giant freaking video game, period, dot. The higher energetic that you can get to catch the information, it's going out. But the higher frequency and the clearer that you can get, most still that you can get in your mind and slow. This is why you want to keep your mind meditative, and you want to be in a walking meditation, because these energies are going to go out. When you pick it up and you make a move, and you consciously claim it, then you start claiming your DNA lines. Then you start claiming dominant over certain DNA lines. When you figure out that you were in the 13th family, you even start claiming the damn Rothschilds and more, because they're the ones that are holding the etheric form. So a group of us are incarnates and ancient, and that's why we had to be activated, and we had to reconnect and be the crazy ones for a while, according to most of the world, because somebody had to do it. And we were the ones that knew and remembered how to do this, because we're processional beings. It's kind of our job. It's kind of our job. It is our job. It's not my job no more, because I already did it. Right? But this is where we're at, and it's not really a bad thing. You've got ancient healers that are on here too, and it's all right. The collective's still gonna hold a higher timeline. You want to claim properly. This is setting up 1,000,000 years for your entire bloodline. Don't worry about the MFers. We've got claim enough on them, waiting for all of y'all to claim. Basically, we had to run all the way up, claim the big stuff, and then now it's like we're not even going to be put into our end of position until a majority of you guys claim your positions, because then that's going to tell us what ours is in some of these lines. So right now, for the collective, even going into a gateway program for a lot, it's kind of like the next step out of a simulation, because you haven't been in your full etheric body. You have to do everything differently. You're processing cosmic energy, you're processing carbon, you're processing all the crap that's coming off the human race, you're processing nuclear waste, you're processing space. You have to do all those things as a unit in your body, kind of like when the Beatles start talking about that, what is it, the bus. We're all on the bus, we're all driving the bus, we're all on the ship. Our bodies are the ship. You can't drive the ship by yourself. It's like every year the ship loads up. There's still some scragglers from the last time. It's like basically as they jump out, then there's a whole nother set that comes in. There's still some scragglers that are on it, and then you're on the ship. You're out of the simulation. You're on the ship. You're where you need to be. You'll probably rotate around one time at least on the ship, because everyone's figuring out which part they are on the ship. Everyone's trying to drive the ship with their etheric bodies. If you got to learn how to do it all at once, and then you can separate, because when you separate, you're still working together in the unit of everybody that was on the ship. You aren't talking to them anymore. You're picking it all up telepathically and energetically. And that's what happened to me tonight. Is I looked this chart up and I was like, holy crap. And then I laid back down and I was like, okay, that was it. That's how it works with me. I'm like, okay, that's what I needed to see. So I lay back down and it's still there. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I just started, I mean, light language. And I was thinking stuff. I'm not doing it right now because I don't want to send nothing out to y'all. But I was doing light language underneath my tongue, real soft, not loud, for a really long time. For what I know, I don't normally have to speak it at all. I only really need to have to speak light language whenever I'm undoing draconic magic. So and I was like, what the hell? So then I pick up the phone and I hear YouTube. So I go to YouTube and there it is. Somebody had posted the video of Gaga at Saturday Night Live last night doing that skit when they were at Friendly's, and it was a freaking ritual. Then they showed the video that she had put out where she's in the red outfit and the weird prism thing, and oh my God, and that song is just too much. And SNL in and of itself is basically, well, it's government psyop, basically. Because they know, they understand the alchemy, and they want you to think it's just a skit. They want you to think that, and when you laugh at it in the higher dimensions, then you anchor it even more than being scared. This is why a lot of the dark comedians and that, they all, most of them are like the ones from when we grew up, they're all dead. So that's when I knew, all right, that's what happened. It's been 24 hours since they did that. And then with this chart, I know exactly why they're airing it. So this is what's going on with the gateway thing, right? And mind you that these industry people and all that, they do not want you to claim your etheric body. They've already done it for you. Whenever you claim it, then you're pulling from their power, because they've been building their character for a long time, and this is where we start looking at that movie Substance, and we're all like, oh my gosh, that's really going on. Yeah, but it's not necessarily like how they told you. It's far harder to put your finger on. And a lot of them don't even know. because it's hidden in the Mason contract. It's hidden in it's hidden inside their contracts. And those contracts, you're signing away some stuff that you had no idea. And typically it's your twin flame. It's your children in other dimensions. And whenever these guys get into entertainment and they don't know who they are, but they know who you are, then the whole reason that they're giving you the movie part is so that you'll sign over your twin and your children, because for the right one, that's the whole damn planet. This is why we were here. Now, the other image I saw was like Ghostbusters. We had a girl that was up in Massachusetts. Some weird stuff went down with and some like the red barn type energy, the red door, all that psyop experiment stuff. If you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then good for you. If you don't know what we're talking about, then you should be more worried than anything. Then not worried, but pay attention. Listen to what we're telling you, because this is a process. If it hasn't happened to you before, that means most likely in some way that energy's coming, because you have to go through the process. If it's already happened to you before, it can't be done to you again. That's why the ancients were here. They can't take us on a mass freaking psyop. They've already done it to us. It's like eating a chicken and then pooping it out and then taking the crap and saying, okay, it's chicken. Now cook it again. You can't. Same thing. So for everyone that's not really understanding, what you can do to help all of us is send assistance and send some power and send some stability and send everything that you can up to your ascended collective at the highest form, because we're up there holding this post for everybody, and it hits us first, because then when it hits us and we know how to handle it, then it just basically rolls down the rest of the collective, almost like oil on a bubble. And then the whole bubble doesn't get, because it's why we're here. It's why we're here. Now, at the same time, the true node, and remember, this is the end of the wheel, and this is where that little back door is. So it's almost like this true node is like if you have two boards and there's a crack, it's two boards and you have a crack in it, and then you're going to hammer a wedge or something in here so you can pry it open. Well, that's because the true node typically, are we direct right now? Hold on. True node's going backwards. So the true node's going backwards, and Neptune just jumped it. So it's like this true node is wedging it, especially when it goes direct. It'll probably go direct soon, because the true node does go direct and it kind of maneuvers back and forth. But the Saturn is your overall program, period, dot. Saturn's your program. The sun is who you are. Let me repeat that. And this is for everybody in the world. And even off planet. This is now universal. And I don't mean the production companies or the music industries. I mean, it's universal. The sun is who you are, and Saturn is your program. So literally, you are your program right now. So it's going to be really easy to see what everyone's flying with. It's going to be really easy to see how the programs that that are in there, as in universal law and as in universal, as in we didn't just ascend the human race. We ascended all beings everywhere. You think the Alpha Draconics only took over the human race? Please. Please. Every freaking system, every solar, they took over the entire soul machine. Every single it's why you got weird ass aliens and crap. The human race was the last one. And y'all would have been some weird fish people. Just FYI. Earth was fixing to lose its humanity. It was a big deal. So you are your program, and this is going to land directly on it tomorrow. And tomorrow is 12 months to the day when I had my blood healing finally done. So that means that by tomorrow, and it's been 12 months, and it takes 12 months to link it in, and it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger every year. But right now, this is where we're at. And so all of us that have been on this Zeta Reticuli type of weird ass crap up here floating and didn't have our basically all the ones that they had sucked into CERN too. Because it's like whenever we were in there, we put everything back together. That's whenever we made the new physics. That's whenever we changed decay into a different energetic. I mean, we've alchemized everything down here. This is why the sand, we've got a sand typhoon going on in freaking South in Dubai right now. Like this is, they should have listened. But since they didn't, everybody just hold the hell on. It's going to be really easy to see people's programs. Tomorrow, the purified blood's going to kick in. Okay? Everybody's getting it. So basically, whenever you get purified blood in your system, because it really is coming from the tree, if you're running low frequency, it's going to be like putting diesel in your gas tank. And it's basically the only way that we can get rid of them. We're just having to freaking throw a light bolt through their DNA and basically short circuit their system, because we're not going to bring it. There ain't no low for them to go to. They really have they really don't have a habitat any longer to sustain if they're not human. And there's going to be a lot of new things and twerks coming out on artificial intelligence. It's going to blow everybody's mind. So just get ready for that, because it's already happened. And I don't mean like already like last year or the year before. I mean like 1,000 years ago. Yeah, the whole human race is just now up to the frequency where you're witnessing it. You're literally talking back and forth to a simulation. What are you talking about? What are you telling it? What are you asking? I mean, y'all be careful. You hadn't seen the fullness of it yet. We have. Now look. True Node and Neptune. So True Node's going to be going this way. Okay, so the sun's going to pass over that. Neptune's going to take a little bit longer. I can't remember exactly when it's going to go into Aries, but it moves slow. However, this is your subconscious. So and this is also why you want to be real slow right now. You want to take time. We've got retrograde season. We've got eclipse season. You don't want to, anybody that comes back in from the past right now, you just keep them at arm's distance. Don't allow them back in until this is done, number one. Number two, this is your subconscious, and the subconscious and the true node of the collective are at the finish of the wheel. So everybody's subconscious is tuned to and sees this whole. Remember I talked about, like, it's like this? So it's almost like coming to, you're on a river and you're all on tubes, and then you start hearing a waterfall and you're like, what the hell? So the entire subconscious is starting to see this break open in space. And even though you don't realize that that's what you're seeing and panicking about, because this really, right here, this is, I mean, the rapture, basically. But it's not how, it's what the collective would call it, because there ain't no other word for it. We're not exactly sure how it's all going to go down. We're not to the point where just, well, we've already had people be disappearing. So who knows? Who knows? It's never been done before. So we're about to witness it. But my point is, your subconscious is picking up massive, massive collective stuff, because most of the collective is not ready to master the wheel. However, there's a group of us down here that's in the consciousness that is mastering the wheel. So this is also where you're starting to pick up these channels that teams like me, because there's different ones. I have my own little subset that I deal with, but we all telecommunicate and we all interact up here in these hires. And so even if you're just on the path and you're not totally ready yet, because you might not ever be totally ready yet, but you're picking up this, and so that's great, because y'all are starting to see it and you're learning more, and so there's going to be a lot of chatter going on this higher, this with all of us over this week. So you're going to be getting a lot of different downloads, but it's going to be high-end alchemy. What I want to tell everybody, and I want to make sure that as many people know, is that whenever you start getting these downloads, and trust us, because we walked this, and every year that we would elevate, we'd think, I mean, because you're so low, right? And we're in such a polarized reality that you get right here and then you think you know it all. And then you start making judgments. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. You need to stay, just don't choose. Not choosing something is a choice. And the reason is, the things that you think are good and bad are going to change. It's going to completely flip when you get up to this next level, by the time you walk this one. And the ones that you think are the villains, it'll shock the living crap out of you. And the ones that you think are so sweet and da-na-na-na-na, it'll shock the shit out of you. So just, if you want to speed through it, don't do it like we did the first 3 years. Do it like we did the last 2 years. And this is how we did it. You can talk about it. You can tell people this is the information. Just don't make a judgment call on who you think is the one behind it, or what group you think is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just wait until you get that next perception. And those are the things that you're kind of being energetically tested on, because that takes wisdom. And you got to learn, like, kind of same way we did, right? They're little bitty things. You ain't going to die. You're not going to, like, hopefully you're following your guidance and know when to move. This is also why you want to have the clearest consciousness, because I can promise you that my ascended collective is not going to be in the middle of a flood. It's impossible. Everything else will flood all the way around us. We might not be able to leave our street because it's flooded. It happened to me in Houston, 2001. And the whole thing was flooded. It's like I was standing on top of an egg. Energetically, it was impossible. It's impossible for you to flood. If you're in an area and it seems like it's going to flood all of a sudden, you need to get to the spiritual person in your town that's got the most freaking power, and that's where you need to get. or bring her to your house, or bring him to your house, because you lift up that energy. And this is the times that we're in. If my house, and I'm gonna just give me this because I'm prophetic, so anda caramonte, I'm canceling out my own words because I'm giving you an analogy. If my house was to catch on fire, it wouldn't. In fact, they've already tried twice. We see the future. So it's like whatever. If the guy's fixing to drive by and throw a torch, then I can promise you that I'm going to be in my car and I'm going to be down the street right when that fucker comes around the corner. And I'm going to say hi, and then he's going to keep driving because I caught him. I mean, it's literally like that. This is why you want to clear your energy and disconnect from all this little BS crap that we think that we have to have. We think we've got to have our partying. We think we've got to have this. We think we've got to have that. Even though whenever you go out drinking now, you feel way more worse than you used to. It's just that we don't even, it's like that's what we consider fun. That's it. And we don't even know what to do to have fun anymore because we're spread out all over the world and we're dealing with mass chaos. Well, it's kind of like where we're at right now. We got to wait for some of this stuff to hit. And then trust me, get a bunch of starseeds together. Everybody wants to be there. and we'll make sure to have those parties. But right now, we're in a massive terraforming. We've got new blood, like oxygenated blood, that's coming in through the tree and hitting the arteries. Now that's inside your body, and that's inside what you'd consider the earth. And it's happening simultaneously. So energetically, whenever you want to master we don't master our precognitive in order to remote view timelines and jump in on people's crap. That's not what we do. We can do it, but we don't. Because if we do it, then it's allowed to be done on to us. So you won't catch any of us abusing our abilities, because if we do, again, then others can do it to us. And it's the only way that we've been able to protect ourselves this entire time is managing our abilities for the reason that they're here and not other reasons. And that reason is to get everyone to safety and to assist in these situations. And the world's about to witness what real angelic power is. And it's what time it is, because everyone on the planet needs to stop trying to be Alex Earl. Because I can promise you where that girl's life's going. All of us that are from Gen X, we've already been there, done that. You just didn't have a TikTok to look at it. We was just famous in our own town. Famous enough to get sacrificed. And this right here, this is Isis and Thoth. And Venus, the 9 degrees is where it's 6 degrees, the record drops. So literally what just happened is Mercury just hit their timeline record. That's why everything seems a little sketchy right now. We're not quite sure what to think about any of it. It's kind of like it's like the presidency. They do something that seems all right, and then they do something that you're like, and then you're like, okay, I can kind of see where you're going with that, but it's like, oh, but I know the other side of that. That's because Mercury, which is your mind, just hit their record. Now look who's coming. Venus. Venus has already been almost to notice too. Well, guess who has all the source codes? Venus. Guess who was in charge of turning on the cosmos? Venus. Guess who the problem is? Mars. Guess where we really were? Mars. Venus has all your source codes. Venus wasn't even printing down here. If you wanted something printed, you had to go to a 3D printer, or you had to go to a robot, or you had to talk to AI. In this little thing, this little movie that they're running right now, Venus has got all the way to her etheric body. Venus was like fixing to step into Notice 2 at 12 degrees and step into her etheric body and like with the collective and take everything back over, like the planet, like what we got kicked out of was freaking Earth, basically. And then she was like, "Ooh, wait a minute, hold up. Let me go check this out." It's kind of like the lead conductor is like, "Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Something's going on at the back of the train. We got to go check that out." As Venus goes backwards, that's what it's like sketching the record. And this is also going to start throwing out timelines. There's going to be 3 timelines that are running. One is your low, basically your jab timeline, your simulation timeline. They've all put it in together. It's all running on one, just like it always was. Then you're going to have by the 13th. So write that down. March 13th, this one energetic timeline that's up here is going to break into 2. And this one is following this one's lead. This one has already laid the character in your soul of where you're supposed to be, not where your energetic body thinks it needs to be, not where your human thinks it needs to be, because we've already cleared the entire simulation. Where is your soul calling you? Not your mind and not your wallet. Where's your soul calling you? Because as long as you follow your soul mission and you're creating with the cosmos, this higher timeline has already poked the holes for all of you, because we need you to come up and step into it. So this middle timeline is not necessarily that you're behind. It's not that you're behind. It's just two different connections, okay? In fact, this timeline right here, when y'all, this timeline starts, this timeline's going to start changing things more rapidly. Then all that's going to come up and hit us, and then it's going to be like, boom, something big, massive will happen in order to assist to link us in the higher. So really, it's like if you're on the middle timeline, you're gonna feel like you're moving a little bit faster than the ones of us who had to actually open up the cosmos and open up Saturn and freaking rebirth the entire cosmos and rebirth the DNA and walk the 144,000 and activate 3 sets of them, by the way. There's 3 sets of 144,000 that have been activated in the past 7 years down here. It's not just one set, because we were dealing with merger of 5 spheres from 5 separate consciousnesses, all projected into a simulation. So when Venus gets to 6, record's gonna scratch. We've got on the 13th, it's either 12th or 13th. I think it's the 13th. We've got full moon and Mercury retrograde happening at the same time. The 14th is the day that we rewrote all of the cervical spine, lumbar organs. I had to basically cipher in 44 code every single body part, because you're not going into an artificial intelligence simulation. We hand wrote it correctly. So this week, starting on really now, it's starting now, like I said, because we're a little bit ahead whenever you're cosmically, but for the entire collective this week, Your DNA, your literal physical cellular structure is being upgraded to be able to hold the cosmos. Because that's why this baby boy is backed like this. And so basically there's just a little seeping of cosmic energy that's coming inside of the wheel, because everything's inside. Nothing's outside. It's all inside. That's why you got this little circle right here. It really shouldn't be there. We just pretend it's not there. There's no more little circle. See how this line's going through? Exactly. It's if these lines were counteracting it, you'd be seeing them all. That circle was your inside of your aswad, was your simulation. I mean, literally, like that's, you're all in there. And whenever you get in these energetics of these houses, each house is a different energy. And you go through the whole thing. And this is why even the mermaids are starting to come back out into the collective. We're going to have more and more and more and more of that. Because there's a natural way that a mermaid is formed. And it's not even the ones that we're seeing in the weird stories that not even stories. I mean, I know that they're real. They're 100% real. But those are they were basically binding our legs in the etheric in order to bind the planets for the simulation. And whenever you rebirth a planet, it's like an umbilical cord pops out. And I know this because we rebirthed Jupiter's Io moon, and then it was November 17th, 2022. And then I don't think it was until last year. I think it was last year. There was it was a mermaid, but it had no head. It looked like it was all white, and it was in a weird cocoon, and it had surfaced. And as soon as I saw it, I knew it was associated to Jupiter and and basically whenever that cord comes out, that's like that connector in the G core, and it spits it out. And so that's it. And there really isn't, it doesn't swim. It's not, it's not typically it's not alive. The other ones were the stuff on the bottom of the ocean, the laboratories that are on the bottom of the ocean. It's all about consciousness, they want to put the most high frequency beings down at the bottom of the ocean because it lifts the entire consciousness. But you're at the bottom of the ocean. So you're like lifting up the consciousness from the bottom of the ocean for the entire freaking world. And that's when they do that weird stuff with binding the legs, and they do it in the ethers. So then it's the entire collective end up being mermaids, and it really is a thing. And it's actually. Do I have that picture? I think I put it in my. Hold on, let me show you. It has to do with cosmic energy. Okay, hold on. Where am I? Where's my favorites? I'm pretty sure I put it in here. You're staring at Leo colors, by the way. Which I don't want to confuse you 100%, but to all the ones that kind of have an idea and know that we had to flip this to the outer Aswal wheel to Leo in the first house, just remember that these Aries degrees are Leo as well. So whenever you flip out of that, when you go into that opening right there, you're still in a cosmic wheel, but it's more like the original Arcturian wheel that was set up originally, not a simulation. It's different. It's way different. One, you have etheric power. The others, you have nothing. Here's this picture that I was going to show y'all a while back. This is the wave diagram of long-term history. Do I have this on a video? No, I just took a picture. Okay, so when I'm talking about Leo in the first house, ding, 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 ding. Y'all look at those dates. That's the energy that we've claimed all that. We're way older than this. Then you had this is Leo in the first house. In Egypt, this was Leo in the first house. When we were in Egypt, Leo was in the first house, not Aries. There's Cancer, there's Gemini, there's Taurus, there's Aries. Oh, looky there. What? So you realize we had to go back, and this is going to move again, because we'll blow out of this again. Maybe. We'll see how far the human race gets. It'd be easier for all of us just to sit, but we'll see. If you want your whole new freaking reality and like to where it's totally freaking just clear, then it won't be. It'll open again, basically the same way we split this. But for now, it's like we're running the outer oswald. There is no beings out there that isn't connected into us. Hello? Is it 2000 BC? Or was it the year 2000? Are you starting to see? Look right here. What's that? By 2080, we should have had... See, that's what they were trying to get me to do. They were trying to get me to... There were people around me that were trying to get me to say that we were moving to Pisces in the first house. And I was like, no. We just had to finish this. You notice it's only the bottom? Illuminati, check. Covens, check. Well, they're like half and half. That's why they needed us. This could literally piece off and like fly away. Like, we don't need them. Bye. We built our own. It's not over here. It's over here. When we talk, it literally goes like this. This is whenever, because this is not flat. And you have to remember that each one of these laid stars, and they laid them in different dimensions as this was going down. This is why they were drilling in everything. This is what the hydrogen collider was doing, trying to keep this separate. Because all your power, as far as etheric power and being able to change anything down here, is going to happen up here. It ain't going to happen down here. This changes this. And this. This is where I think that we are right now. And this is where I've been thinking we are for the past couple of years. This is where we should have been. Now, this was the lost 6th root race that we came and got out. It was the lost 6th root race attached with AI. This is the densest collective that you're ever going to deal with, and it's not even the same collective that was here in 2018. It's not even the same collective that was here before August 2022. Most of them got taken off, literally. This is the bottom of the fish barrel that we're in right now. It's like making a copy of 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 a copy, and then you get the final copy and there's like nothing left of the original. 6000 AD running on a freaking time machine between Capricorn and Sagittarius. Why? Sagittarius didn't move. You could flip this motherfucker back any which way you want. You can go this way, you can go this way. In a simulation, it was all anchored at M22 and went directly over here to Gemini. This is why your Microsoft's Gemini. This is why your little AI's Gemini. This is, like I said, they're running they set that up over here to run everybody down here. But everybody needs to realize how this is split off right now. Eventually, because I mean, there is a piece of this that's still attached to their old will. You'd call them unconscious. And eventually, this will take set and it'll... Now, what's happened over here is that we have now completed this enough times. This is what your Venus cycles were about. All your Venus transits since the beginning of fucking time were all to have every single source code of every DNA line down here backed up into one that started it. And we got two. I was on here looking for mermaids. Here's another one. If y'all want to take a screenshot, here. I know you might have. You can go find it on the internet. Maybe. It's a lot harder to find this stuff. I mean, this was all from like 2017. But this is basically the Sirius Ascension map. You come out right here. There's the sun. I mean, literally, we are the sun. Venus is the sun. How do you spell Venus? Spell it backwards. Sirius A and the problems that we're having with the Sirius A freaking projecting back down. This is why. Because this baby's on. This is what we used to restart it. But you'd say that we were down in the white dwarfs. Or, I'm sorry, more like tied to Tartarus. That would be how you got mermaid. These two numbers showing up like everywhere right now. So just if you take anything from this, just 14 and 17. And then that's also 1111, correct? 4 and 7 is 11. So this is 1111. But if now that we've seen this and this has been pointed out to us, we need to be looking for 1417 and signatures at 1714. If you see 14 and then you turn around and see 17, this is where you're at. You're right here. You have to ascend through the sun. This is why they wanted you on Mars. Mars is right underneath the sun. Venus is right underneath Mars. They wanted you on Mars. They thought that you weren't on Mars. We've been on Mars. When Joshua was here, we were on Venus. It says revolving wheels which turn upon themselves and find the open door to perfect bliss. You know that little can popper? There it is. This is the Vesca Pisces. This is what you end up walking. You're walking the simulation and you're seeing the real at the same time now. This is you're having to make the determination what is real and what isn't real. Whenever you hit that frequency, you shoot straight up. And then once you get right here, then you start kind of floating. This takes a minute because this is your total. Now you don't have you don't have this fan system. You don't have this fan system. When you pop out of here, you best be able to fly and move in space without nothing. And by the time you get through this, you're there. You know, and a lot of y'all are right here right now. It's why it feels difficult. This little part right here is it's gonna take a couple of years to deprogram yourself. That's why this process is here. Okay? It's the law of freedom. I wore that freedom shirt last night, didn't I? Blissful dancing points of fanatical devotion. Now, I would definitely say we are fanatically devoted to a human race that right now doesn't give a shit about us, but you will. You just hadn't figured out what time it is yet. Attributes cosmic rapture and rhythmic bliss. Thank y'all for the follows. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, we have 55 on. It looks like I need to do videos at like 6 a.m. This is a random picture, but I'm just going to show you. This is like when I first activated, then when all that shit was going on and they were taking me to the Rosny Krishna temple underneath Dallas and locking me in. And then they took me to this fire dancer, and this guy shows up literally. This is they're doing flame throwing back here. We're at a bar. This is what he wore. Like, this is the random crap that you witness whenever you're right here. And whenever you're like still, because he's over here going, oh look, you're really underwater, you know, and like, what the fuck, like, why are you wearing that? But I mean, for all of us, you know what I'm talking about, because it'll be the most random crap you've ever seen, and it's because it's mirroring you. That's what's so crazy. That's what I didn't realize. I didn't realize that here. I knew it was getting mirrored from somewhere, because what the hell? And I already knew, you know, because this is Lumeria. This is Mu, the mermaid from Mu. We came to get everyone's legs back, literally. It's been quite a long journey. But it's like they knew that before I knew. And so he shows up with this, and this type of stuff happens whenever you get in this, I mean, over and over and over again, and it is just such a flippin' trip. It's why we have so many pictures. This is another one. That's that same July 4th, 2018. Same chick, same setup. Interesting that's coming up. I'm just in my favorites. I'm showing y'all. This was one I caught from the sky. Look at that. Man, the sky pictures I have, holy crap. Because we were breaking all these since I started doing it, driving all across. I've been in 42 states in the United States of America. They wouldn't let me leave the U.S., stole my passport. I'm actually thinking, like, I wouldn't be able to even get there. Like, is it really even there? In the timeline and in the energetic that I'm in? What's up, North Carolina? I like your handle. Primordial. Hell yeah. That's what we're talking about. I like that handle. Let me see what else I got. Hold on. I came over here looking for the mermaid. Y'all want to see something dribby? Y'all know who this is, right? That's me. I was adopted from somebody's house. Literally. Dude, I don't invite people to co-host my deals. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Dadgummit, I gotta find it. Hold on. I think I put it on my favorites, but it would have been at the top. Oh, y'all want to see something really freaky? Okay, so this is 2016 before I activated, okay? And it was all starting, and a whole series of events happened in my life in October, like all at the same time. My dog was drowned in my pool. I was fired from my job at AI, but it was called Architecting Innovations. And then I had to go to California. So all the karmic people were at my house, and I didn't realize how much of a handler he was. And my son was there. I was in California by myself, and they were all in my house, and they took this picture. This is my karmic son, and this was my son. This was 2016. And I'd had it on my phone for a really long time, and I never really looked at it until about 4 years ago. What the fuck is that? And I knew it's this entity was because I wasn't there holding up that energy. Whenever you're such a powerful light source, and then you don't even realize it, and then you're holding all this stuff off, then whenever you leave, the bubble falls. Man, that's my pool was back there. I know. Yep. Well, I took it screenshots July 7th. All right, let's see what else. Here's my mummy. This just popped up on my phone. It was 2018, and I started, because it was 2017 when I activated, and I had 3 separate pictures. The other one I won't show on here because it's really bad. There he is. That picture, my mummy, a picture I can't show you because it's too graphic. Now, this popped on my phone from WhatsApp, basically, I think. And this was 2018, and I knew that they, and it's basically around them is all these. I have another one, but I don't think I saved that one. There it is. See how they're all wearing masks? And I have no, I mean, is that India? I'm not exactly sure. And they caught him. I knew I had washed up because, again, we're cosmic beings. We're gonna, I mean, this is literally the twins. There he is. Tattoos and all. And it's how the simulation works. Whenever you command the cosmic energetics in that outer ice wall, and whenever you embody that energy, okay, this stuff will just pop on your phone. You don't even have to go look because it's somehow attached to you in the story. Well, this is my twin in another dimension. It's basically those of us that were locked down in what like the most ancient humans. I mean, the very first human was made by a vegan aquatic ape, number 1. The very first human was made from a vegan aquatic ape. And Vega is by Syrians. Vega is right here. It's in the very middle of Capricorn. And it's the most ancient star seeds. Vega and Sirius. These are the most ancient starseeds. So literally, Syrians made vegans way over here. And it's a vegan aquatic ape. And the DNA had been in that because it was a simulation. Basically, everybody's bodies were working together in one body. There's a whole bunch of body parts that you don't even need. The only reason that, and if you really go look at the body and you go look at the lungs, and then you look like they just got thrown upside down, and then they became your kidneys, and then you've got this and this and that you really don't need. Oh, 100%. Reincarnation isn't even the right word. The process is way freaking quicker than you could ever imagine. And you've been doing it too. Because you were in a simulation. You weren't really dying. Whenever you come in and clean, those of us who cleaned 900 years, 1800 years of karma for the collective, that's how long we can live if we want. All the ages in the Bible are correct. In fact, now we've got to add so much that it'll blow your mind. When you come clean 600 years, then you cleaned 600 years. Whenever you come and you reset a cycle, you basically kind of got to be here because you reset it. It's like, that's why you're immortal. You won't. This is why they can't take us out. We cannot. It's impossible. But if you want to live a more normal human life, then you didn't want to be in our group. Because yes, we're admired for our abilities. Yes, but we're teachers. And that's why we're here. And our route was not the easier route. In the end, will it seem like we get more? Yes. But then we turn around and make more with it. So it's like when that starts happening, the collective will really start understanding how it's supposed to work. Because it's not just supposed to that you put it down the trash chute and it never comes back. We've got to work. The old program is work to get money, to spend it all, and then go back to work. Well, in this energetic, whenever you're in a pure sequence, somebody sends you $20. The person that sends you $20 ends up in a week with $200, and then you take the $20 and then you know what to do with it in order to make it into whatever it is that you need, even though it's only $20. And this is what you're learning and remembering. Oh, what am I doing? That's not what I want. I don't remember what. Oh, I was looking for the Syrian thing again. That's what you're remembering right here, because the money's being exchanged in space, in alternate timelines. The entire world 2020 was cleaning up 1700 and 1800 time counts. There wasn't anybody down here that was making big moves unless you had royal DNA. For the rest of us that were running around, that's why everybody got sent to their rooms. The rest of it was an excuse to make y'all all go to your rooms in order to get a clean playground so we could at least come over and do what the hell we needed to do without a bunch of freaking cockroaches running around. Literally. Everybody just get it together, man. It's just crazy. It's just, you got way too many sets of consciousness, and you got way too many thinking that they know everything. I know I don't know everything. I know a bunch about space coming out of a simulation. If you want to take a screenshot, this is literally the Big Bang. These are the Big Bang codes. Planets only appear when the human race loses consciousness. Let me repeat. Planets only appear when the human race... Thank you, Yvonne. When the human... Oh, and thank y'all for the hearts, too. 10,000. Thank you, thank you. Whenever the consciousness is lost on the planet. Because basically all the planets do is wrangle the consciousness. All the planets do is wrangle the consciousness. Sorry they're blocking y'all stuff. I'll pay attention. This is the Syrian sun right here. This is kind of like that gap. All of your power sources are in the middle. So this is Tesla math. This came in January 6th, 2019, which is why your January 6th happened. And it has nothing to do with Proud Boys, Pride Boys, whatever the hell. This is really what happened. Rumpy Rump's just trying to he tried to take over the limo, go back there that day. I'm going to be president. And we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. So there's Sun, Mars, Venus. Now see, there's Vega. Because Mars mixing with Venus made blood, literally. This is Vega. This is also your feet and your ankles. This is the Big Bang codes. And actually, this is all math, how this came in. This is math. There's a certain way that you add it together and divide it by 3. And then anything that's +1 is a program. Look where Earth is. Anything that is +2 is organic. So everything over here is organic. Everything over here is artificial. And then these are your power sources. They're all going to equal 9. And this is your throat. And Taurus is basically Libra. It's also your tongue. Your veins and everything don't come in till down here. This is where, because humans are down here. This up here is different because it didn't have a template. Well, you have organic. You've got both. It just depends on what energies, Dina, you have your chart. So take a screenshot and then I'm going to show y'all the next page. And then go look at your star points that I did on your chart and see where they go. This is just page 1. Is it tied to the chakras? Yes, whenever you realize that your chakras never end. This is page 2. Here's the Aurora Borealis right here. Heaven and Egypt are right here. Now, all this is done by gematria, what we call this, adding it together and doing these Tesla codes. That was the key that came in. The Tesla key came in for me. This all came in January 6th. I sat down and did it. It took me about 7 hours because I was real slow at doing the numerology. This is what it equals. It's going to be 3. This is 3 to the 9th. So this is your bladder. It's going to go all the way out to the 9th dimension. Literally. This is where your nerves are. Kidneys are going to come in right here. This was the first ascension ever on the planet. You either went to Cygnus or Hyades. You came back down either as an animal or cut off from consciousness. We didn't have people in trees and freaking all that weird ass crap at this point. This was either basically heaven and hell. But this is what started the brain. And this is also where the vagina happened with the Hyades. The second ascension ever was Regulus and Arcturus. Arcturus is now your healers. Arcturus, a lot of us that are your ancient healers and teachers are Arcturus. Notice how this is 44. This is the 44th dimension. But in this ascension, this was hell. This is like all the witches burnt at the stake, basically. And then Regulus is the monarchs. Then there's the matrix. Notice where Neptune is. Now there's only one natural frequency that makes a 5 energetic. And this is why this is the matrix, and this is why this is the 55th dimension. You can't get any further than the 55th dimension. If you do, you're going to have to be ancient like me to get back in. And trust me, getting out is a whole lot easier than getting back in. Because you can't get... basically, we ended up having to go all the way from here. Exactly. Squirrel. Back to here. We had to go all the way around. You can't weave back through. You have to finish the whole thing and come out. But Sirius, and this is where Egypt and all of that program was, because you had to see your shadow. Your subconscious used to manifest. And it's starting to again, which is the problem. It's why it's so chaotic down here. You had a shadow. You had some type of familiar. This is why the twin program had to keep going. And even though most of it is complete and utter bullshit, except for about 6 of us on the entire fucking planet, by the way. Now, 6 of us on the planet having twins would make about 5, well, could be about, well, it could be 144,000, because then times 6. So, I mean, it makes a whole bunch of relationships. It's not like it's 6 relationships, but you only have 6 twin energies. And there's only really 3 couples that need to come together in order to get the rest of them all connected. But the whole reason that program was there is so you could see yourself in somebody else, even though we like to call them karmics, but typically the image is you. It's just in a lower dimension, and that's the whole point. They're showing up to show you what an MFer you were maybe in another timeline, or when you had these powers or gifts, and now you're looking at them like, you dumbass. Exactly. Don't do that again. That's the point. Now, after Sirius and after the subconscious, okay, because this was the 3rd ascension. So this is the very first ascension on the planet. This is the 2nd ascension on the planet. This is the 3rd ascension on the planet. And then boom shakalaka. Now you're just like over here when this started, you were either Cygnus or Hyades. Now you're either Orion or Pleiades. So you're either with the Neanderthals and you're with the human race, or you're in a space program. You're either underground, you're either buried, or you can't go outside because you're on a ship. everything on that side of Jupiter is dealing with you. These are even ovaries. This is, I mean, men, you almost lost your scrotum from fucking with space and digital currency. Do you want digital currency or do you want balls? It might be a choice you're going to have to make at some point if y'all keep it up. Cosmos is going to let you make it. All this is dealing with you. This is your brain. And this is death. Spica is literally the energetic of a soul without a body. This is what's in the Bible. This is what we ascended to. And I'll show you this, because this is what we ascended up out of. We put our brains all back together. Right hemisphere and left hemisphere. Not just the left. That's what the left Reich was. You understand? Jupiter is going to, then this is where you're personal. You're one person stepping on. You're one person. 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 Then you get in here. Then it goes out to a civilization. It goes out to an entire collective. All your Orion beings either went to Betelgeuse in the first round, because Betelgeuse was the first human program. This is the one that went supernova. 23 and me much? This is why my brand is Cohue 32. This is why there's 32 stars, not 33. I took a zeta point out and erased all zeta reticuli from the book. I now call it hybrid. We ain't gonna manifest that shit no more. This is where all your television comes from. This is also why they put out Beetlejuice again. Because this is, and that's Gemini. They want you, this one is a first Neanderthal program. This is a Kim Kardashian program. This is rappers and guns and gangs. And then women looking pretty on their back. Betelgeuse. Or Andromeda, which was basically 3 realms bridged together and then sealed so that only certain skeletal keys could get through it. And that's your pineal. All of us separated in this and then in this, but tied to one is what created the pineal. We all had to do all this and separate out to complete the brain, but it's done. Now that fuel's coming in. Now it's getting connected again. You're turning it on again. It wasn't all on. It was all separated. Then it made Bellatrix. Bellatrix was second generation. So this was first generation. This is second generation. This is Gemini. This is Gemini. And then looky there. And then what do we got again? 44. And then what does that match up with? There you go. The monarchy, and then all the servants and the maids and the fairies underneath the cave and the head in the box with the magic powers. And, I mean, that's it. Bill Belichick, Bellatrix. It's going to take you out to the 13th dimension, too. 13th dimension, that's attached to the Queen's chamber. Osiris is the 15th dimension. Osiris is the matrix. The Queen's chamber is the 13th dimension, which has everything to do with your body. This is all of us fireflies in the simulation that were the simulation. So if you have Bellatrix, this is 22 degrees of Gemini. So if you, or is it 20 or 20? No, it's 20. It's 20 degrees of Gemini. So if you have 18 to 22 degrees of Gemini, then you have Bellatrix, and you change the matrix by every time you go buy something, your time count adds up. You don't even realize you're adding stuff in your cart, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this piece of gum. It's because you're literally calculating in your brain everything that you're buying, because you're wanting to get a certain number, and you don't even realize that you're quantifying it. And so you throw in that gum, and then it ends up being $44.44, and it's $4.44. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you hear sirens. You'll always hear sirens, because there'll be a wreck. Because you changed the matrix. You lifted it up. All you had to do was connect those number codes, because you are the matrix. And then it's going to throw something off the whack. Thank you. And then Chiron's just mirroring it. Because basically, Chiron is our consciousness. Every time we went into the simulation, into these, and we kept going deeper and deeper and deeper, it's like this was just backing up our consciousness. It's a freaking asteroid. It was made in 1973. It didn't appear until 1975. But Chiron is basically all of our consciousness it was holding it from us going deeper into a mind control simulation. We had to. Those of us that are Bellatrixian, do not fuck with us. Do not fuck with us. You did, and you're about to find out. And this especially goes to the Middle Easterns. Your Empress is back. And she's very well aware that all of y'all are the ones that kept this whole thing going. Look, what's that? Gemini too. See, all these are Gemini. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. What they put in the jabs. What's getting smaller and smaller? We don't need this little ball no more. This ball be the problem. This ball be the problem. Mercury, we're ready for you to leave. Aldebaran is your new Earth. It's Archangel Michael, but it was running like a three-legged dog. Why? Because how the hell is Michael? See, this is why whenever you get out of the matrix in the simulation, do not call on Michael. Do not. Do not. He is not your friend. He is not your friend outside of the simulation. Michael can do a whole bunch inside the simulation. Michael is your best friend inside the simulation. Outside of the simulation, Michael is not getting it until you see a major twin union come into effect. When you see a twin union come into effect that you know just changed some shit and you feel it and you will, then you can talk to Michael again. Michael was a Melchizedek. Michael went a little sideways. Michael went on a... Now, he had to do it. He's an undercover brother. But he be a stubborn motherfucker. But he be that fish. Because you don't want to know what they did with him after they took him in there. We already know. Osiris is nothing but an operating system. Osiris is the operating system of the planetary stuff. That's why Isis always has to come back and put together Osiris. I was really confused about that, because every time I put together Osiris, Osiris would try to kill me. It's real confusing whenever you're the twin doing it. So every time I build you, then you attack me, and I was like, what the hell? Oh, okay, now I got it. I just firmly really understood it in the past, I don't know, week. It's an operating system. It's not even, it's totally artificial. It's going to run the same way. It's like you've got to turn the whole thing. You basically have to turn the whole thing on. And then when he turns on, he's going to come at you. And then in the middle of it, you got to change him because you're there to change the DNA. He don't got no DNA. All he got's oil in his system. Now, they're starting to get some of the DNA. Especially this week. This is why I'm on here doing this. Thank y'all for being here. Please subscribe. I put this stuff out. I'm also on YouTube. I've got hundreds of videos that go back. I started doing videos after I activated 3 months. So you can go look at me at all the different stages and all this information, especially in 2018 and 2019. I had more time to do training videos. Then once I downloaded all that information, then I had to go live it. And that's the same thing that's happening to you. All this information that you've been downloading, be careful. You're going to have to go walk it. And here's where it gets really freaking tricky. Because now we're talking, I mean, this is way. Now look what we got. Which part, Rocky? Or Ricky, sorry. Everyone has an interface, and when the motherboard shows up the work, intuitive nature begins. Yes, and we had to break their motherboard because it was written for draconic DNA. It wasn't written for human DNA. There wasn't a human down here. When we activated in 2017 and had to plant Earth because I was a doomsday seed, do you know how much human DNA was down here? 0.0248 was all that was left. It had been stretched. How many pages had we gone? And they just want to keep it going. And this, you have to realize there's over 50 suns. This is a giant tree machine. This ain't the only setting. There's all types of settings that go up and down, but it's based on a processional energetic of the human race. If the human race is still so stupid, then you can't get out. We had to undo the whole, it's a puzzle. If there's the only reason I got all this is because I'm connected to all y'all. We all work in one big brain. There isn't much that comes to your brain that you're the only one that's picking up. The problem is people think that that's what it is. It isn't. Especially in the simulation. The more that you get out of it, then the more clearer your thoughts get. Then it's easy to tell what's yours and what's somebody else's. When you're in it, you cannot. And you emotionally react to all of it because that's why the fuck they made it that way. So you'd attack yourself. It's what the Matrix does. You attack yourself. You really do. As you're developing your powers again. You have to learn how to contain yourself. And that's including talking shit about people. That's a spell. And they can hear you. All of us can hear pretty much everything anybody's saying about us. We just choose not to listen. Although we might get a chill up our spine or might get a hot flash. If we have to know, we'll know. Then we talk to that being and we end up saying the same fucking sentence that they said to somebody else. And then they're like, oh my God, you heard it all in their mind. And you don't even know what they're talking about. You don't want to fuck with us. We're real humans. And Pharaoh, give me a break. We put together, this is a feminine and masculine. Your union is doing it both. You got to learn how to be efficient on your own. Without your woman's hoo-ha, without your woman's energy, without any woman's energy backing you up. And you got to learn as a woman that you got there all the 3D crap that the men are having to deal with because of your power. because the men are having to protect you. That's why all of us women are warriors that came in, because our men weren't protecting us. We had to do it for the human race. There ain't one man down here that stood with us. Not one. Not from one race. Not from one religion. Not one. And that's all right. It's just how it went. But it's a feminine planet. It's feminine. It ain't masculine. And there ain't no man down here that can birth this. And there ain't no man down here that can change his hoo-ha to a freaking vagina and then say that they're connected to the entire human race and activate the human race in the women's wombs in order to do it. You got to be divine, and you got to be an incarnate, and all the prophecies have already happened. The fact that nobody down here knows, we knew that shit in 2022. It should tell you something. There's another 5 energy, but it's made. This isn't organic. This Zeta Reticuli energy was mimicking. And Egypt, I got a problem with you. Here I go with the Middle East again. Why'd you put a shaft of Zeta Reticuli in the Isis chamber? Who allowed that? I call for that now. I call judgment to be cast right now for that. And then those Egyptians that burrowed that hole, you can deal with the dead. You can wrangle your unconscious. We ain't gonna help you. You made it. You deal with it. You want to come help us spread the word so we can save more people? That's your only way out. To everybody on here that's from the Middle East, you need to contact your people and let them know Arxiad is alive on this planet, and there ain't no Arabian that's going to take it down. Because this is what they did with it. And then, now just so you understand, this goes out to the 23rd dimension, and this is your bone marrow. Everybody that's losing teeth right now, this is why. And it's the quickest way to kill all of us. That, it affects your marrow. This is why the root canals are getting infected. This is why your teeth are crumbling. This is why. This right here. So Middle East, we expect a dentistry program paid for by the Middle East for America, and free, and immediately. Because if we don't make it, you ain't gonna make it, babies. We proved over you. You no longer have dominant. And that's for all. There ain't no middleman that has anything without jumping to a side. So pick a side. You're either gonna pick this side, or you're going to pick this side. And not Mars. I'm just on a roll tonight, aren't I? Prefrontal cortex. This is why they were doing lobotomies in the 50s. Now think about that. This had already been done. This was already completed. Why would they need to be doing lobotomies on certain beings in order to mess with everybody? You do the lobotomy on the right people, you only got to do 6 lobotomies to lobotomize the entire human race. But sure, everyone's equal. Keep thinking that. So you won't protect the ones that you need to protect, and you'll back the ones that take you here. Like I said, each dimension that you go, man, you start going, you get way out here and you look down, you see something totally different. This is Archangel Gabriel. This is Pisces 3 degrees. Dead on. This is 23 degrees Pisces. This is where Sun and Saturn are meeting right now. This is going to catapult the ones that are ready. It's going to send you right here. It won't send you here. If you're totally AI and you're totally just going about your world and you think nothing's wrong and you're talking trash to all of us that are over here saving your ass, then I can promise you, you're going to start out here. You can't. It's impossible. Your consciousness, if you have at least, you've been on your healing journey and everything else. This is like Cancer in the first house. These beings are going to be like Cancer in the first house, and then all they've got it, and then this is where they're going to pick up their power. This is where they're going to pick up their crown. This is where that's going to hit an insurgence across the heavens and the sea. And then this is Sagittarius, and then this is Libra. And it all balances out because you're pulling your etheric body up. Then your head pokes out. Bink. Right now, even me who broke the wheel, it's like this is a belt for me. This is on my waist right now. So it's like that's why I can see way up here, and I can see all this other stuff. But I specially made for this, y'all. I'm no natural fucking nothing. I did not come from a man and a woman having intercourse. I can promise you that. I was adopted from somebody's house. This is why I know so much about the orphan trains. We are the orphan. Gen X, you're it. This is an ascension map. This is an evil evolution map with the stars in it. This is where it all started, way down here. There's Centauri B. There's Centauri A. So basically, Centauri is the fake sun. It was utilizing this. Now, when it got to right here, this is when it started spreading out. Because you're supposed to go up, all the way up. But we started out right here, and then we went this direction. And then when we got enough over here, then it popped out over here. This is in Cancer. This is a twin. This is Archangel Michael, and this is New Earth. This is directly across from Antares, and there's Arcturus. What I say? This is the dark side. You'd consider this part of you on the dark side, because this is also, these up here are what's causing cancer and all that mess. But all this. Our team has cleaned all this and the space. And it's in the Bible because it's an astronomy book. There's Vega. We've talked about that. There's Sirius. See? Boom, boom, boom. The most ancient. Right next to each other. That's 10 to the 9. So that's going to be 9 10-year shifts or 900-year shifts or 9,000-year shifts. Just kind of depends. If y'all are interested in having me on any of your lives or anything, if you've got lives that right now, we're in the middle. I can't allow anyone in my... I've set this. I'm not going to debate with nobody. I walked it. If you want me to come on yours, please DM me, and I would love to. I have all Akashic libraries. You can actually ask me anything. It might take me a minute, but no one's done that with me yet. I was completely in isolation for many reasons besides them wanting to off me so that I can't come tell y'all this. What's Poot's birthday? What's my birthday? October 7th. What happened on October 7th? See, there's Bellatrix. This is second generation. See, because now we've stacked the simulation twice. Literally, y'all, this was our last shot. And we made it. I got all the way up here. My head filled up the whole thing. Boom. This is Spica. This is also the prophetic word. This is why over the past 2 years, your tongue is sharper than you ever realized. And it all happened to us the same way too. We had to learn. We had no idea that our words affected other people. We had no idea that other girls, even if we had a little drama thing, we just had a little drama thing. And then when me and another girl were talking about it, the other one was hearing the whole goddamn thing. You have to change the way you do things because your powers are back. You're no longer in a simulation and you're prophetic. Your words create. You're not in a dome anymore. It's not going to hit the air and have to fly around. It's literally, the stronger that you get, the more it's going to go right in front of you. That's what Spica is. It's also Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi signals are going all the way out here. It's like the human, you're the computer, you hold the Wi-Fi. It'll be very soon that people will not be able to use their phones or charge their phones if they do not clear their DNA. It'll be very soon that many won't have electricity. Now, the ones of us who have all of our energy turned back on will have electricity. Everybody else won't. Not until y'all come back us to pay for us a little bit of money to your electricity company. That's fine. I'm sure our rates are going to be better than what the hell you're paying everybody else. And we give it back to the community. We know how to do it. But it's what time it is. There's Rigel. Rigel was the Alpha Draconic Stargate. This is where Jupiter is right now. This is basically raw consciousness because we changed the skeleton keys on the harvest moon in 2022. So basically what that means is that if you don't have a human cellular structure, you can't come through the gate. There wasn't a human structure at the gate before. It was just wide open. If you're already in here, then now you got to start the process. You can't just jump into someone else's clear aura and then come into Bellatrix. You can't just go from Rigel to Bellatrix and then become a chic or a shake or whatever bin, a BIN that matches all pharma. I mean, come on now. Come on now. I got a problem with some princes in Saudi. And one woman that seems to want to cover her mouth with a breastplate. Freaking Zeta Reticulars is what they are. I'm telling you. And I'll order all of you to cut your dresses. We want to see your knees. You're going to get on your knees, but we want to see them. Mini skirts. Mini skirts. Freaking try to take out the Arxiad princess and bury the whole thing on top of them. All right, let's see what happens next. Messing with some crap y'all should not be messing with, and I would rather not have to know that I can do this crap. And I'm pretty pissed off about it, to be honest. That aligned in Louisiana. This is John Baptiste Cemetery. At the Evergreen. The real one. Where Mary Magdalene lived. Right outside of Ophiuchus, Louisiana, owned by the Shell Corporation, which is your mimic of Ophiuchus in Louisiana, which basically meant that all your ancients were being stored as oil. Middle East. Maybe I should be a guest speaker at OPEC this year. Should I go to the men's club first? Pricks. Freaking pissed off right now. This is making me mad. This is a Cathedral Rock. When we brought in the Ophiuchus Ray, right before the eclipse, 2019, in Arizona. Cathedral Rock was at the bottom of the ocean. Tiamat is right there when you get to Cathedral Rock. You step on her head. It's where all the sacrifices were done. After I got done doing this was my aura from the mountain. Now this was 2019. Now all of us are in this big ass, and see how that opaque bubble, you see how you can't see me? It's like your own filter. Then you want to start understanding how shape-shifting happens. We're going to mirror back whatever you need to see if you're coming for us. And we don't even know. And we don't have to know. Because all of our pure family lines are in here with us, holding this opaque bubble. This big ass, this right here is now your aurora. It took 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It took 5 years. You can't shortcut it. It's why everybody was jumping ship. It's taken too long. Okay, you want to come clear 1,800 years in 7 years? You want to do it another way? Then fucking be my guest. With everybody, you know, it's because you're a new blood. It's like literally no matter, you're going to get attacked because it's the new blood. It's the same thing as a virgin queen bee. Everybody in the hive is going to attack it because it thinks it's a virus. Right? Oh, this thing's got 6 titties too, look. Or 4 titties. There's the front of it. And that's a thing too. Like beings that have extra nipples typically have Ophiuchian energy. It's because they're feeding off of it. Literally. If you're allowing them to, there was a girl that was around me that was trying to set me up. There was a family. What we've also learned is a lot of these family lines that were working for them literally were made by the system. And it's like all the nasty crap that they were having, you know, and just all the ritual. I mean, you can't right now in this new reality, you cannot just take anything at face value. All of our holidays, all of it, the praying, the way that they pray, there's another one, the way that they pray, you know, and this is every religion. It's not that it's wrong. You can believe what you want to believe, but your alchemy processes of getting on a mat, freaking going to a temple. The temple is gone, and you can't keep Christ and the pure energies locked up in a Kaaba and then bring everybody to circle it to keep it on a fucking record. Which is what you were doing. So literally you were killing your future self. For what? What are you getting? Are you living in the Sheikh's mansion? And by the way, Dubai is anchored from Texas. In your little 9 million flying city with your 9 million people, who was going to decide what 9 million get to live? And who is going to decide what other of the billions down here are going to be your battery system? That's what I want to know. That's who I need to talk to. He ain't going to come. He's too damn terrified. How much money do they spend trying to take us out? This is the other thing I'll show y'all real quick. I've been on here a while. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're starting off Monday with a big old alignment. I'm gonna turn this on its side. Please take a screenshot of this. These are angelic sigils. They are almost impossible to find now on the internet. The angelic sigils that are written on, and I'll move it. Let me do it like this. The angelic sigils that are on the internet now, they'll say that they're angelic, but they're Wicca symbols, and that all they are is angles. If they're runes and all they are is angles, then you do not want them. Anything that's angelic and cosmic that's going to assist you, and these work. These work. If you, the trick is, you want to copy it as best you can and don't lift your pen. And the whole time that you're, just do it the best you can, don't lift your pen, and the whole time you're thinking of that intention. You want to, there's knowledge. Man, I did the one that freaking recalls. Let me see if I can see it. Here's another set. We started using these in 2021, and they literally saved us. There's prosperity. See how it looks like a Q? Interesting, right? This one down here, there's strength. There's health. If you wanna activate your light, oh, there it is, recall. If you have some type of notebook and that's where you put all your notes or whatever, just put this on the front, date it, like write down what date you put it on there. If you want to activate your light language. There's manifest. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot of that real quick because I'm going to draw that one on my board. You can do these just in what, and it doesn't have to be big, just on a little piece of paper, put it on your wall. You'll know if you need to take it down. You'll get guided to it and you'll hear, take it down now. Maybe you need to switch it out, or maybe, I don't use these all the time because these are powerful. You don't want to go doing 6 or 7 at a time, because then you'll get all confused. You won't know what's coming in. The point is to draw it into you so that you understand too what that feels like without utilizing it, because this is physics. Just like all the House of Kochi stuff that's coming in, it's on the way. I'm hoping it'll be here today. It's all the bedding, and this is just stripes. I've got all the zodiac. So basically you can get an etheric body healing blanket in Cancer colors now. And all these physics, it makes the energy for your body to hold it. In House of Kochi, the Sagittarius, for instance, it's kohu32.com, and we're working on it right now. It's been a labor of love. You cannot, these are all the colors. This is the wheel. These are the 32 rays and the colors. There's Aquarius. If you go up here to shop, oh God, this is going to be on my computer, my deal. does it weird. We're fixing this. This blanket right here, this energy, this is Sagittarius, this is Magneto. It just doesn't have the yellow. The yellow is the thought. This is going to, like, almost like Doctor Who and like Doctor Strange. It's going to cloak your energy. And it's going to make you, it's going to be real magnetizing. This is going to help you if you magnet, for magnetism. But these with the yellow, this with the yellow helps you keep focus. And so literally what it is, it's going out all the way to Sagittarius. The shower curtains too, because that's where you get your downloads. So there's the Magneto blanket. This is a giant Sherpa blanket. But this right here, we got curtains too. This right here, it also comes in that one blanket. That's a comforter. But I've got a girl that bought this, and then she takes it to her office with her because it's cold, and she didn't realize until I told her. I was like, how's the blanket working for you? I said, are you more focused? And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah. I said, it's this. Because what it's doing is it's holding open basically all the energy over you, and it's allowing, this is providing, it's kind of like crutches or a brace. All these different energies are filling them into your field, and then you start making connections, and then you get built up enough, and then you're doing it on your own. So this one right here, this is Virgo. This one right here, this one is going to give you a freaking, this is like the Sophia blanket. If you know what the cosmic Sophia body is, this is it. One of the girls got it, and she got nauseous when she first got it because it was so energetically, it literally provides almost like a building on top of you in order to make higher house connections and to connect with ancestors, dream space, any type of visions, and the second day, and everyone that's bought this blanket is like, it's like my binky. It's my favorite thing. They're dreaming more. They're not having nightmares. It's basically like having a whole angelic connection to give you that space, because it's the colors, and it's working with the cosmos. This is the colors of Virgo. So basically, whenever you lay underneath, I've got another one that's a baby making blanket. It's a Scorpio 1 blanket. It's like, but these energies are going to be giving you that. So, we're already like, we developed, this is Aquarius. We developed this, and we're still getting it all out. We're to the point where I'm ready to do like ADD, and because you can mix up the different houses, and then it does a lot more. But for now, and what this is doing is showing you, let me show you Cancer real quick. And they're not in order for a reason. Oh, I'm going to Gemini. Gemini is straight up 70s. And see how it puts it in a matrix? Like, especially if you're like in technology, stuff like that, this would be a good one to have. because it's connecting you into those matrix grids. If you're really, 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 really etheric and you're having a really hard time, like, because you're so angelic, this is going to give you more of like a structure. I got this one. This one's coming because, you know, when you get up too high and then you don't have masculine energy around, and for the masculines, it's like you probably need what I'm fixing to show you next. And you probably won't like the colors. But you can get it from your girlfriend, and then you can... The girls love this one. That's Cancer. Now, you don't want to get Cancer stuff until you're done clearing out a lot of your emotional crap. Or if you're young, this is great for youngsters too, and teenagers, stuff like that, because this does provide emotional balance. But if you're like our age and you're having to like mess with, you know, like you want to get this when you start really getting clear, because now you know a lot of that's cleared out and now you're ready to start creating new, because this is going to be your heart, your soul, and your mind. That's what this is, all working together and starting a new sequence, which is what happens in June, right? So what I'm showing you is when you go through the wheel, each one of the houses of the zodiac, these are the energies of the zodiac. So even if you don't want to buy anything, don't. Go look at it. This is the etheric body healing blanket. We'll see this one live this week. And if you want to learn more about the energies, go to your house. Now, Cancer, I'm still writing up, so don't yell at me. I've been kind of busy. Let me show you Capricorn. Capricorn, straight up Ralph Lauren. Capricorn was Ralph Lauren. Let me find the blanket. This is called the Caproot Velveteen Blanket. Now, when you look at the energies, this is what Capricorn's doing with your energies. This is how it's breaking it apart. This is Vega. This is Lyra 2. This is where your energy's coming in your body, and you can connect it and transmute things. And this is going to be more like the Tesla energies right here. And then the ivory is going to be the first root race creator energy. So this particular one, what you can go look at your sun sign or your moon sign or whatever, but go read what it does and what this energy does, because it's what it does. Caproot Velveteen Blanket brings back the romance of a velvet and crushed reflection and soft touch. Caproot Velveteen wraps your body in etheric collective energies and deep macro colors of Capricorn, connecting your downloads and intuition back to your root connections inside and outside of your body, whether you are Capricorn or not. Caproot Velveteen connects your energy into Capricorn structures, assisting you in transmuting into new architecture for collective and where you stand in it. Because Capricorn's all about governance, but you're getting down to the root of it. So Capricorn's a really good one. This is a more feminine version. This one's going to be it's really good for connecting into your root. It's also a really good portal, shower portal to have, because every time, let me read you one of these. This is called the Tap In and Send Root Race Shower Portal. Every time you and your family steps into the power of water wrapped in your Tap In and Send Root Race Shower Portal, you're tuning your energy field to the collective root race currents. Each shower sharpens your focus on your creations, and Kochi Design tunes your energy field to a collective current, giving you a lift to any organizational layer. Are you in any type of corporation? Are you trying to build something like that? Are you in politics? Are you trying to get together a big healing group in your town? Like any of these energies. That's basically what they do for Capricorn. So you can just go read about it. It's basically like shopping and reading about the zodiac. And when you start kind of reading all the different ones, then you start understanding that energetic. Okay, let me show you Libra real quick. Because Libra got all the colors. This with the angel on it is basically because Libra is balanced. Libra is all your body codes and template codes. So what the angel blanket does is basically holds that form while you're balancing the rest of the energetics of the whole thing. Because Libra balances the whole thing. You don't want to put, like, you don't want to put the Libra curtains in rooms. You don't want people talking. This energy is really great for like the living room or the playroom, or if you've got an office or a meeting room where you want people like really communicating and connecting and being able to solve issues together and balance things together. You don't want to put this energy where you don't want anyone chatting, because it's going to make them, it's going to make you want to communicate. It's Libra. The shower curtain's really freaking cool. All of us can't decide what we want because there's so many. And I was surprised when I put in my order that I ordered as much Cancer as I did, until I looked at the chart and I was like, oh my God, I know why. It's like energetically, we need to clear that energy. What do y'all got going on today? Today's Moon Day. I want to show y'all one more thing, because this is a trip. This is the physics. And this is the physics of Taurus. This is literally Taurus. It's literally how it... See, here's how the 22, and here's where it starts creating these lines. So Taurus starts creating kind of like a grid with these twos. And then look, this is what it does. That's the 33. See how it looks like skin and it looks like epidermis and sedation layers? This is the 33. I think this is the 44. This is 44. So what I mean by that is A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. I mean, we had to play a whole phonetic game because they had already written. We had to change the phonetics. So now A is 3 on the highest time count, but that's because it takes 3 to make an atom, not 1. But A is 1, B is 3, 2 is C. And I wanted to show you this. This is, I think, hold on. These are patterns and stuff that we're going to start coming out on clothes and things like that, because energetically this is Pisces. Look at that shit. Doesn't that look like ocean bubbles? That's what it looks like on the 33. That's 44. And this is basically like you catch one of these and you go out. Like, it's harder to get through here. But If you are right here, then you have the Christ codes in order to 04310. Like, that's why this is. Like, if you, the ones of you that have the Syrian connection and can resurrect yourself, because there's a bunch of us that can, you're coming in these shoots. The rest are coming in these. But these are open because these are coming through. I can't remember exactly where this is. That's like that big sea monster thing we came in. Like, you literally, like, we've traveled through all this. We're going to be finishing up cards too, because basically two, just so y'all know. You can also get this stuff on the website. If you go here, because it doesn't take much to like really help you, because you just need the physics in. So for $4.44, we just send it to you in a download, and you can print it. You can print it. You can print it. You can print it. You can store it on your computer, whatever. And this is also in the coloring book, and we've got a coloring book that you can get your own rays. Because what you do is we use the astrology as a telescope on equal house, and then here's each ray, and it's real easy, because you just we show you how to pull up your chart equal house on astro.com, and then you look and see what planets and stuff you have, and then which one is it. Does it fit in these colors or not? Does it fit in that? Is it 25 to 29 degrees of Aries? Is it 26 to 29 degrees of Taurus? Like, yes or no. And then it'll tell you which rays you're holding. And there's only 32. So everyone down here has some subset of 32. And if you have one, and then you don't have any of these, but then you've got 9, then that means these are all full. Doesn't mean they're empty. You just have to remember that this information is coming through all these alchemical processes before it gets to you. And then this stuff starts making sense. Each one of these has a program. Each one of them has a program, and they're all different. And when you master the program, then the power ability comes in. And that was the whole point. The whole point in life was to balance the energetic in order to bring in the collective power to help you, to help the collective, to help yourself, to help your family. But you didn't know what the lesson was. When you know what the lesson is, it's real easy to go back and look at where you screwed up. These right here, especially these right here in Gemini, we date bad boys, you date bad girls. You love them. You don't know why you like the crazies. You don't know why you like the ones who are always going to jail. Well, this is why. It's Orion. Once you know that, you're like, oh shit, well, I'm done with that program. I've already freaking rehabbed too many of their men. Bring me my equal now. I'm not going to tame their men for them anymore so they can pick out which woman they want to put with them whenever I did all the work freaking dealing with them. No. Give me one at my caliber now. See? You know. So this is only $4.44, and you can print it and give it to your family, give it to your friends. We really don't care. The more that knows this information, the better off we all are. This 777 is like a book. And when you print this, you want to print it on an 11 by 17 because it lists all the gifts. It lists all the abilities for each one of these. So basically, you can start this for $12.21 if you get this one and this one. And then when we email it to you, we'll email you how to pull your chart. Literally. We did this super cheap. We want to make it easy. And we also want to teach you how to do it. This is the coloring book. We email it to you. We know that you're going to print it. We most likely you're going to do your families, the whole family. Good. Good. Just y'all doing it and understanding helps. It helps us way more than charging $100 and waiting for me to give you some big crazy write-up that's going to take you a year to completely understand anyway. It's better for you to do it yourself. And it's all mapped out and it walks you through. We send you 2 videos to help you that walk you through it. And we're about to set up monthly Zoom calls to do all at once, a whole bunch of people. Okay? To find out what energies you have. Then you can start understanding what all the lessons and stuff are. And that's what the cards and stuff are for. Because they're all different energies. So it's like you have a fight with your boyfriend, or you lost your job, or your child comes home flipping out because they had some crazy day at school. Then grab the cards and see what comes out. What energies were you dealing with, honey? Let's go see. Go get the cards. Alpha Draconic. Were you fighting? Did you get mad? Antares. So did Billy really just walk up and pop you on the head? Come on now. Did he really? Okay, that's cool. But this is what it is. Here's how you deal with that next time, because this is the energy this is what it was, honey. You got to keep it balanced out. You got to learn your little way to do it, and you'll learn it, and you can practice, but this is definitely the energy. And so that helps you realize, and wherever the collective stuff is right now. Because wherever the collective stuff is right now, I don't care if you've got it in your chart or not. That's what abilities are available down here. You follow. So I'm going to go back to the chart for one more second, and then I'm going to hang up. I love and hate TikTok that these videos disappear. I love it because they can be long. Everybody can jump on. And you get to teach a whole bunch of people. I don't like it because it disappears. You can download it and upload them to YouTube, and I do sometimes, and I might try to do this one. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But the most important part is if you showed up right now, because I'm never on at this time of the day. So if you're here right now, you got the invitation. You stuck around. Something in you said, oh my gosh, I don't understand it completely, but something's clicking. It's how it works. Because your I'm talking from right brain perspective to a bunch of that have been trained to only think left brain. It's all the unseen things that you can't explain. It's just because it's been a dome. On a dome, on a dome, on a dome. And those domes are popping. And now the blood is starting to come in. So it's pure oxygenated blood. And when we're talking about the brain, you've got one, just like damming the rivers. You've got a neuron over here, and then you've got a neuron over here. And they're firing. And they'll fire, and then they'll finally make a connection right here. And then that's when you get a download. That's when you get the information. Just realize the information's only half. You put that information into your vessel, And if you're putting whatever it is that you're looking up, because we all have different connections, we don't all have different histories. There's a bunch of different histories that we all come from. And there's a bunch of we're all here for different reasons. So whatever is triggering you to look that information up in family lines, and then looking outside of your lines at where you might have been connected before, because all of a sudden now you can't get out of Egypt. You don't know what it is. Everything's pulling you back to Egypt. No. Well, there's a reason that you're filling you're filling your vessel with that. Just realize you're gonna have to walk it. You can't go to work in a corporate reality from 9 to 5, come home every night, download a whole bunch of information, and then think that you're still going to go back to your job and everything's going to be just normal and you just might be smarter than everybody else. It's not how this works. Because you're going to have to prove it. And it's going to be what you want, because you want out of that corporate job, because you know that you're supposed to do something else. But don't get upset if that job leaves whenever you embody all this. Okay? And the universe is going to help you. You're going to be able to survive, but you might have to get... When I first activated, I was just running around going, who is Christy and why do I have so much shit? I had a 3,600 square foot house. I had full of furniture that everybody had left when I activated, left me with everything and having to get out of it and everything else. I had my business, and then my business shut down, and then I moved all that into storage. So I had like 2 or 3 storage units. I had this huge house and all this crap, and it was just me. And I was like, what the fuck? Now my old me would have been like, more. My new me is like, I can't carry this on my back. Get me out of here. Just please. I had to sell everything in the house, everything that I owned. I bought this iPad and I started that channel. I'm just now to the point where I can start bringing some things in, but I've totally changed the way I dress. I changed the way I pack to go on vacations, and now I'm actually even more fashionable. You'd be surprised how fashionable you get whenever you only have a few things in your suitcase. The more that you have, it's weighted. In fact, if there's some people on here that own some trucks, I'll tell you right now, the business that needs to be going off. Going and grabbing everybody's crap, taking it to consignment, getting it off of them. Everybody goes through it, especially in your high-end, like higher-end, $300,000 to $500,000, $600,000 houses with all this stuff. It's like we need to. I think my phone's fixing to die. We need to get rid of our stuff, and most of the time they just want it gone, because you're just ready to. You're purifying. You're just ready to have it gone. You'll take whatever. I freaking opened up my house and was selling everything for 20, 30, just bring me what it is and let me help you, So if you have moving trucks and you're in a city area, then whenever you become really rich, remember me. And throw us some cash so we can get this to the children. You have instructions for your children now. Your child's got a bunch of Cancer energy. You need to start talking about SEX early, because it's going to be coming for them early. You've got directions to life. This is it. It's just right now we're in the middle of clearing it. Okay? And we've all been working our butts off and we're tired. It's been 7 years, 24/7, because we couldn't rest. Couldn't sleep tonight because we were clearing this stuff. And there's only a certain group of us that can deal with the most densest energetics at this point. Most of y'all aren't going to have to learn how to deal with that level of density. Now on the in-between, we've got little tricks because we've learned all these little tricks, okay? And you'll learn them, and then you'll be teaching your tricks, and then we'll learn your tricks because there'll be new tricks. This last 7 years, we were clearing the cosmos, we were clearing space, we were clearing space-time, we were clearing wormholes, time travel, simulations. This 7 years right now is going to be cleaning the stuff you care about. It's going to be the corporations. It's going to be the banks. It's going to be the finances. It's going to be what tech we end up using. It's going to be what cell phones we end up using whenever we figure out that Apple set it all up. Again, Middle East. Did you really think that you were going to get away with it? And don't feel like I'm picking on you. It just happens to be who I'm picking on today. And it's only because y'all need to get it together. We're here to help. If you want to help your people, then this is what you need to be doing. The other thing I'll add real quick is, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have just all types of little blemishes, and there'll be time periods that they come. This was an implant. Now that this new energy is pushing through your body, and I don't want to manifest it on y'all because I'm kind of waiting to see with this round, how many of y'all have this. For all of us that did this first 7 years, pretty much every single one of us had some type of implant. And you can think of it like paper dolls. Remember those little, I don't know if you're from the 90s. If you're younger than that, you might not know what the hell I'm talking about. But they had paper dolls, and then basically you had a dress, and you had a flat doll. And then you had a piece of paper that was the dress, but it had these little tabs on the end that you would bend down and hook into your doll, right? Well, these could be, a lot of the times they're right here. This is where there's a little bitty, and they're in your eyebrows, they're in your hairline. Like I've got the ones in my jaw because it's where it was holding. I've seen them. Sometimes they'll come up in your hands. They look like a little splinter. You might have something come out of your, but it'll come up like a little pimple, and a lot of the times it's not. A lot of the times it's not, unless you have like serious acne. A lot of the times it's not a pimple. Because when you cut a timeline or you cut an energetic from the simulation, it cuts it from your body. So then that energy is no longer holding a surge to your body, and so whenever you cut, it pushes it out. Whatever was connected, it pushes it out. And I've literally set and videoed me cutting a timeline and a whitehead appear, like boom boom, just grow. So this is how we know. So if you have these, they've got some really good stuff on the TikTok shop that can help pull it out, because it's like you kind of wait till it scabs over. You kind of pick at it and it'll scab over, and then get the tweezers and yank the scab off, because the root will attach to the scab, and the scab will help you pull out what's deep. And let it come out. Don't push it, because like this one was literally in my jaw, It was because they're this was way more than mind control. If you're still under the illusion that this was just mind control, then why was Christ here? So energetically, you're coming out of the puppet strings. And those strings are in your cellular body. So don't, like, this one took about 4 days to finally come up because it's coming from so deep. Don't push it. Let it not, like, you mess with it a little bit every day, but just then let it come out, and it'll scab up and then pull it out. I've seen a lot of y'all get them in your hands. Like, all of a sudden it'll be like, where'd that come from? You have like a little black, it looks like a black splinter, but it pops up in your fingers or in your hands. That's because this is your power source. Your right hand is your power source. This is your manifestation source. Your left hand. Your right hand is the sun. Your left hand is the moon. So wherever these start coming out gives you a whole bunch of information on what your powers are. See, this is why mine are all in my jaw and right here, because I'm speaking. Shh, I'm speaking. Shh. I'm prophetic. They wanted to control my mouth foremost. So wherever you start getting these, then you know that that's where energetically your energy was holding that simulation. So whenever that comes out, it fills up. Now there's no string, but your body's going like the Michelin Marshmallow Man. If you were a dragon ever, your etheric body is as big as a dragon. If you were a dinosaur ever, like down your line, connected in, then your etheric body is big as a dragon. I mean, a dinosaur. That's why we had to expand everything. That was the problem 2 years ago, is like everybody started, at least even just our collective started activating, and we were like, oh, scoot back, scoot back. All right, wait, stop, hold on. We gotta go clear some more space, literally, okay? Because we merged like 3 spheres together. It's 3 different perceptions. It's 3 different total different realities. Like, this is who started it. This is who started it. No, this is who started it. No, this is who started it. No, this is who started it. Okay, whatever. Just take it back to fucking 1. Can you get back to where that started? Okay, good. But guess what? This one beat you. So you proved that one. So now go prove this one. Okay, you could? Cool. Got it. So now you got that one and that one. But this one over here just outproved that one. Can you hit that one? No, that's okay. You got both of these. Go. Eventually, energetically, you will. You'll hit that one. It's just you just got to clear with the rest of it, because there's too many that are in that thought process, in that perception. You see what I'm saying? Whenever you're in it, you're bringing it up with the rest. It's quite amazing. The other thing that people don't realize is that when one of us gets something, it goes down the line. Be careful who you're helping. And then help the ones that you know need it. Even if you just want to throw a present and see if it goes down the line. We've watched it. We've watched it. All over the United States. It's crazy. One of the girls was at a grocery store, and there were some kids in there, and they were trying to buy some stuff, and she was like, they didn't have enough money. And I was like, why were these kids in there by themselves anyway? So I paid for their groceries. And then like an hour, thank you. And then like an hour later, one of the girls calls and she's like, oh my gosh, this just happened at the grocery store, and da 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 da. And I was like, See, that's why they wanted our lines. This is how they got so rich. It only took one infusion, and then you're sending Ukraine a whole bunch of money, then who's getting that? And then who's sending that? And who's sending that? And who's sending that? And who's sending that? You're not helping us because you think, oh, well, they're not on TV and they don't have this. Well, yeah, if we was on TV, then we wouldn't be able to tell you the truth. I don't even know how I've stayed live on TikTok this long. Like, that's a miracle that I was able to get all this out on here and not get. Do you agree? Starting energetically, it's like, it's that time. It's like, if you need to know, you will know. And whenever you're ready, a teacher will appear. Every time. Every time. If a teacher hasn't appeared yet, you're coachy. When one appears, just listen. It's catching you up. Okay? So, YouTube, Princess Chastia. It's 813. That's 111. And 111 means we are on plan. Y'all have a great Moon Day Monday. Thank you for starting my week with me. This week is gonna be a big one. Baby steps, especially the next couple of weeks. Okay? And I'll be back to keep you updated. Everything that I put on TikTok is what's coming in my feed that's connected in with what's going on in the world. So it's like I'm getting little hits of what's going on, and it's all over the place. Just, it looks like there's no rhyme or reason, but if you really go back and look, especially if you go back to the day whenever we had the Washington, D.C. explosion, and you see that we called that and knew it was about to happen. Okay? Love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. This is my most successful live to date, so I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. And I'll be unveiling the House of Koji stuff. It's coming in. We can't wait to see it.